There are 13 representations of super weapons from Star Wars canon to date, and in this video, we'll go over what they are and what they do. Super weapons were usually made for nefarious reasons by users of the dark side of the Force, races and factions for evil means, or officials in government for subjugation or annihilation. Although, there were some instances of Republic use in the case of the electro-proton bomb meant to disable droids, which we'll get into further in the video. Kyber crystals were a main source of power by which the weapons were created.
What do you know about kyber crystals?
My father, he said they powered the Jedi's lightsabers.
Smaller versions of these crystals were also used to power lightsabers, as seen here. The first known super weapon was the Malachor superweapon. It was an ancient Sith weapon that was a temple and a battle station powered by a huge kyber crystal at its peak. Its power was the ability to petrify living beings. An event took place called the Great Scourge of Malachor, thousands of years prior to the Cold War between the New Republic and the First Order. It was a battle between the Jedi and the Sith that would bring about the loss of many lives on both sides. Momin's superweapon is a devastating weapon that had enough power to take out an entire city. Momin's intention was to pour the Force into its engine and freeze the terrified expressions of his victims forever. However, when Momin attempted this, the Jedi intervened and his plan failed, destroying his physical body. All this took place sometime before the Clone Wars. He built it to prove himself worthy of the dark side of the Force. In the aftermath, the Jedi found Momin's body incinerated and his consciousness trapped in his mask. When describing his recollection of the event to Vader, Momin called the weapon a failure. The Malevolence was a subjugator-class heavy cruiser commanded by General Grievous and used in a campaign during the Clone Wars. It had deadly mega-ion cannons mounted on its side that could disable the power systems of entire fleets, rendering them defenseless against the ship's massive array of lasers. On its way to Kalita Shoal's medical center used to heal wounded clones, it was intercepted by Anakin Skywalker and Shadow Squadron. The attack led to the Malevolence's ion cannons being disabled and the ship badly damaged. Grievous eventually opted to flee in his starfighter after conceding the battle lost. During their time on the ship, Skywalker reprogrammed the navigation computer to send the ship into the dead moon of Antar in the Prindar system, causing the ship's destruction when it attempted to jump to hyperspace. The electro-proton bomb was a type of bomb designed to emit an electromagnetic field that could take out droids. It was designed by Sion Verbol, a scientist affiliated with the Galactic Republic, but the bomb's use had unforeseen consequences. While it was successful at taking out droids that were in service to the Separatist Alliance on Malastare, it also upset the planet's ecosystem, awakening an ancient and powerful creature known as the Zillo Beast, a species previously thought extinct. Next, we have what's arguably the best known among the bunch based on its longevity within the culture, and just by simply being the first, according to our real-life timeline, of course. The DS-1 orbital battle station, aka the Death Star, was a moon-sized, mobile battle station constructed by the Galactic Empire. Made to fire a single planet-destroying super laser powered by massive kyber crystals, it was the brainchild of Emperor Palpatine, Director Orson Callan Krennic, and its eventual commander Grand Moff Wilf Tarkin to expound the military philosophy of the suitably named Tarkin Doctrine and Tarkin Initiative. Shortly before the outbreak of the Clone Wars, the Geonosians, aligned with Count Dooku and the Confederacy of Independent Systems, designed the ultimate weapon in secret. When the Alliance to Restore the Republic learned of its existence, operatives such as Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor were sent on a mission to steal the Death Star plans, which the rebellion against the Empire knew was crucial for its survival. These plans were ultimately transmitted to Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan aboard the Tantive 4 before her capture and demonstration of the weapon's capabilities on her home planet. After a daring rescue, Organa got the plans to the rebel base on Yavin 4 from which the Alliance launched the Battle of Yavin with a small squadron of starfighters. The original station was destroyed by a shot fired from Rebel pilot Luke Skywalker with the aid of the Force. The Death Star II was a partially completed moon-sized battle station constructed by the Galactic Empire as the successor to the Death Star. It was bigger and more powerful than the first Death Star. Like the first Death Star, the Death Star's long-term purpose was to terrorize planets and star systems in league with the Rebel Alliance through the use of its planet-destroying super laser. However, the Death Star II also served another purpose: luring the Rebels into a battle that would destroy them once and for all. Though designed to be very similar in appearance and function to the first Death Star, the second Death Star improved on its predecessor's design by incorporating millions of millimeter-sized heat dispersion tubes in place of the 2-meter-wide thermal exhaust port exploited by the Rebel Alliance at the Battle of Yavin. Secretly constructed in orbit around the forest moon of Endor, the Death Star II was larger than its 160-kilometer-wide predecessor and was made using more efficient methods. Positioned in synchronous orbit above Endor, the battle station was protected by a deflector shield projected by a ground-based shield generator. With the super laser being the main priority, the weapon was completed 4 years after the Battle of Yavin, while the rest of the superstructure was still under construction. After the Empire secretly leaked the location of the incomplete second Death Star to Bothan spies working for the rebellion,
many Bothans died to bring us this information.
The Alliance fleet arrived at Endor and were shocked to find the super laser fully operational.
That blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
In the ensuing battle, Rebel ground forces managed to destroy the shield generator protecting the Death Star, allowing Rebel starships to infiltrate the battle station's reactor core and destroy the station. Combined with the deaths of Emperor Sheev Palpatine and his apprentice, the Sith Lord Darth Vader, the destruction of the second Death Star was a significant defeat for the Empire. Within a year, the fractured Empire formally surrendered to the Rebellion's recently introduced government, the New Republic. The Arc Pulse Generator, nicknamed the Duchess after Duchess Satine Kryze, was a superweapon designed by Sabine Wren during her time at the Imperial Academy on Mandalore. The weapon targeted the Beskar alloy used in Mandalorian armor and disintegrated the person wearing it, though it could be also reconfigured to target other materials such as plastoid, a component of Stormtrooper armor. Wren defected from the Galactic Empire and attempted to destroy the prototype upon realizing what the Empire intended to do with the weapon. But the Empire and their regents on Mandalore salvaged and rebuilt it. The weapon was unleashed during the civil war that occurred on Mandalore during the Imperial era when Wren and Bo-Katan Kryze finally destroyed it. And now we'll go over some superweapons that were alleged to be in existence or planned. These come from the book, The Rebel Files, which contains documents about the procedures, equipment, and personnel of the Rebel Alliance. It also contained intel on the activities of the Galactic Empire. A Siegebreaker was an alleged type of capital ship that utilized a kyber crystal superweapon in the capacity of a portable cannon. It was believed to be developed by the Galactic Empire and used kyber crystals powerful enough that could shatter mountains and anything but the strongest energy shields. During the early rebellion against the Galactic Empire, as the Rebel Alliance was attempting to deduce what kind of superweapon the Empire could be building, Colonel Haxon Delto and his team used the lead and intelligence to arrive on the conclusion that the Empire could build thousands of smaller cannons or siege breakers for the cost of a single, quote, planet killer. Eventually, it was discovered that the planet killer was actually the Death Star, a space station that could destroy entire worlds. Years later, Kalu and Emma of the Resistance believed that the First Order may have used the technology or inspiration from the Siegebreaker and would represent a more containable risk. The Mass Shadow Generator was a rumored superweapon that could simultaneously exist in real space and hyperspace. The generator was included in a Rebel Alliance report compiled by Colonel Haxon Delto that listed possible Imperial superweapon projects and was incorporated into the Rebel files. According to the report, the generator was shown to be axially symmetrical in design. The device's metallic gray superstructure comprised 4 truncated pyramids, with a trench running along the 2 larger pyramids in the center and 2 dishes positioned at the ends of each of the smaller pyramids. Sometime between the years 5 BBY and 0 BBY, the head of the communications unit of Alliance Intelligence, Colonel Haxon Delto, submitted a report to Chief Rebel Intelligence General Aaron Kraken regarding various possible Imperial superweapon projects. The report discussed the rumored mass shadow generator, and although the prospect of the generator worried Delto, it seems to him that the Empire had not made any breakthroughs in development. Delto also mentioned the possibility that the mass shadow generator was one of history's tall tales. Delto's report was eventually incorporated into the Rebel files, a central data repository containing a non-digital copy of sensitive Rebel Alliance intelligence. In 34 ABY, the Rebel files were uncovered in the ruins of the TAC Beam Complex, a Rebel Alliance base on the mid-rim world of Dirk Teal, and passed down to General Leia Organa of the Resistance. While reviewing the Rebel files, Resistance Major Callowin Emmett left a handwritten note stating that the superweapon information should be passed on to Resistance intelligence, as some of those listed had since entered the history logs while others could have been restarted by the First Order. The Torpedo Sphere was a 2-kilometer long, disc-shaped siege platform in service to the Galactic Empire. Sometimes referred to as a battle moon, it had a depression that emitted a red light, and the hull had dark and light sections of gray. The torpedo sphere was equipped with hundreds of proton torpedo launchers that, given enough time, could breach through any planetary shield. A group of torpedo spheres was referred to as a constellation. Omega Frost was a rumored Imperial superweapon project that, according to Colonel Haxon Delto of the Rebel Alliance's High Command, that quote, infamous interstellar freeze ray was nothing but intentional disinformation on the Empire's part. The electro-proton bomb defoliator was a bomb rumored to be under development by the Advanced Weapons Research led by Director Krennic of the Galactic Empire. It was based off the electro-proton bomb used by the Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars, and was combined with technologies found in the Separatist defoliator. General Aaron Kraken of the Rebel Alliance believed it to be highly dangerous, knowing that Krennic employed ex-Separatist scientists in his agency. Starkiller Base was a mobile forested ice planet rich in kyber crystals that was located in the unknown regions. The First Order, a regime that believed themselves to be the successors to the ideals of the Galactic Empire, converted the planet into a base of operations owing to its unique energy-transmitting crystalline deposits, and used it to house a superweapon capable of destroying entire star systems. The superweapon consumes suns as a power source. Its mobility was provided by rocket ports on the far side of the base. The weapon was powered by a type of dark energy called quintessence, which was ubiquitous in the universe and offered a practically unlimited power source to the First Order. This next bit of info comes courtesy of the Force Awakens novelization, authored by Alan Dean Foster. Quintessence was a form of dark energy. According to Resistance Officer Statura, the scientists working on the Galactic Empire's Project Celestial Power had tried to contain dark matter quintessence. Originally thought impossible to tap into, the First Order discovered a way to harvest quintessence decades later, giving it a practically unlimited source of energy. The First Order used quintessence to create a superweapon called Starkiller Base, which could destroy entire star systems. When the superweapon fired its planet-shattering beam, it transformed the quintessence within into phantom energy, another form of dark energy. The destruction of the Hosnian system in 34 ABY was visible from across the galaxy due to the hyperspace rip that was created when Starkiller Base fired its main weapon. And here are a few honorable mentions that are not categorized as super weapons, but are either viruses or some experiment gone wrong, etc. There isn't a whole lot of statistical and schematical information regarding Starkiller Base as of yet, like there is for both Death Stars. No info in terms of numbers and personnel, armaments, etc. So there it is, the 13 super weapons in Star Wars canon. Some confirmed, some classified in Rebel secret documents. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below on which is the most powerful, or which is just the best overall in terms of versatility, mobility, and so on. Powerful doesn't always mean the best. Anyways, thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the social links in the description. And remember to always keep it
charming to the last.